Hi guys, welcome back to TedRedwood Gaming. I'm Ed, and today is the last episode of the season. Spoiler alert. Last episode of the season with FC Oss, our first season. Since we last met, have not gone so well. So last week for the 1-0 against Fortuna and the 5-3 loss to Helmand. Disaster. We then played Telstar and won 3-0. Really convincing victory. At that point, playoffs looked kind of on. I was really excited, but then the next few games just went disastrously. RKC was sort of in and around our area, and then we started off really well against NEC, and those two games are the absolute killers. So actually, yeah, did we take the lead? Yeah, we took the lead. Even went 2-1 up and then just couldn't hold it. I ended up just trying anything I could. I've been trying 4-4-2s, I've been trying 4-2-3-1s. I said I'd be trying wingers. I wouldn't say it's necessarily gone better. I mean, if you actually look at our form throughout the season, it's really not been great. So it's remarkable that we even had a chance, but that's the joy of the playoff systems in the Netherlands. So really, I can't be too disappointed. This was the killer. Or this is another killer, the Rafshap. Where, as far as I'm aware, well, we were sort of dominated, but I think we had a couple of clear-cut chances. Just missed, and unfortunately, so it leaves us 14th in the table, which is by no means terrible for us, especially in the first season. But we are a distance off of 12th. We're playing MVV in this game, in this episode, as well as FC Eindhoven. So let's jump back to the league. So yeah, MVV look like they're getting the last playoff spot. So we technically can get into the playoffs, but be relying on a huge goal difference win, because there's goal difference in this league, I've checked, unfortunately. So it'd have to be MVV probably by 4 or 5 goals, and then win our last game and hope that everyone else in between messes up, and that's not very likely. So I'm just trying to get as high up as possible. We could finish 11th or 12th if we win both games. Well, at least sort of 13th, I'd imagine. So let's get into them. So this is the tactic we're trying for today. I really don't like asymmetric tactics. They've never worked for me. But we switched to this in the Grafshap game, and it actually went fairly well in the second half, as much as the stats didn't really show that. We've got a few injuries. So our old man, attacking mid, we signed, injured. Wimber Keeler's out injured. He's coming back soon, as is Van der Sluis, and Stirring's injured. So yeah, it's been a bit of a nightmare. So I'm actually playing, I could be playing some other players, but I'm playing Tom Holes, the attacking mid, centre attacking mid that came through the academy, youth day. Cut some of this out, Ed. Came from the youth intake, that's what I'm looking for. So he's starting. I like what I'm trying to do, because I understand what I'm trying to do. Obviously I like it, I just don't quite have the right players at my disposal just yet. I've done something there. Oh no. Who I changed around? Kamachi. Silly. So I like that Kamachi sort of drops in. I had him as an advanced playmaker, but having two of them just wasn't working. Gives Grotenberg a chance to run up the side here. We'll see what happens. This is a team I'm sticking with pretty much the end of the season. Injuries sort of aside. Van der Sluis come in and take his place back. And Bakila possibly, but a lot of these guys are off in the summer. So I'm just going to try and rebuild the whole squad around our youth and try to play the right sort of tactic. So these last couple of games, if we can sneak into the playoffs, incredibly unlikely as it is. If we can, then great. But I'm not anticipating we will. So let's just get out there and see who wants to play for us next season. So we are underway. MVV playing a 4-3-3 formation. We've got a bit of a smudge on there, little... Oh dear. Oh, the perils of a touchscreen. Yes, I can see it was still 0-0. Right, they are sort of on top of us so far. Oh, someone clear it, please. I think that was one of the goals that NEC scored against us to get back into it. I think it was 2-1 to us, and someone scored a free kick, which I've not seen much of in this FM, but again, I've been playing at lower levels. It felt like a complete hammer blow, because no one should be scoring free kicks at this level, really, or very often. And of course, I'm the one that manages to concede it rather than score it. So that felt a bit harsh at the time, and I was just chasing the game because I knew I could get a result from it because we'd scored a couple of goals already. But we were just chasing, and that's where it all fell apart. If you had another win on to where we are now, all of a sudden the playoffs aren't that unlikely. It'd be a showdown in this game, and I was sort of billing this as a showdown in my head as I was playing, and I was like, okay, we just need to pick up that one win, and all of a sudden I can call this a playoff decider. And now I come into it sort of counting down the season. I don't love that. Oh, I don't want to finish 16th. I mean, look how tight it is, though. That's insane. But yeah, I was watching Tiger FM's videos earlier. He's just started out as well on YouTube. He's a lot more consistent because he's doing Just Football Manager, whereas I'm trying to sort of do a few different things. But he's playing as Gloucester in the Vanarama South, it'd be, technically. Yes. Yeah, the Vanarama South. And he's not sure about promotion, but even if he does, or if he does or doesn't go up, we sort of agreed that like the best time, I think the best time in a save is fairly early on, where you get to your first summer and a load of your players get released. They're just cutting through us here. This is terrible. But yeah, all your players get released in lower leagues and things like that, so you can just start afresh. You can get all your trials in from Premier League clubs, and it's an exciting time. And I really am excited for that because I feel like there's a lot of potential in how we've played. With the league being this tight, if it's this tight next season, we don't have to have as many of the higher earners here. We can just sort of build a team properly. It means might not be getting anywhere next year either, but we'll get there eventually. Show me something else. This isn't something I do very often, looking at the analysis, but look at it. It's woeful. Everything's wrong. Everything about it is wrong. So we made a couple of changes. So Lucas Moller comes on at left back for Bradley Villiers, and I'm never going to remember his name. Hannah, where are you? Oh no, it's the other guy over on. Lachman comes on as a poacher up front. So he sacrificed Ton Holes, which disappoints me, but he's young. He's going to get plenty of chances. So the guys to remember are Lachman, who's the potential poacher, Ton Holes, who is the attacking mid, and Hagenars, who is the potential target man. Those are the three we got through from the youth this year that I'm eager for. So hopefully they'll stick around. I'm going to give them professional contracts as soon as I can, things like that. But MVV is just being a game of them sort of showing why they're in the playoff picture and we're not. It's just cannoning around the box. I've not seen anything like it. When we went 1-0 down, we dropped down to 16th. And we're now back up to 14th. Again, I know we were predicted 13th at the start of the season. I wonder how many teams are expected to just be competitive, though, now looking at this. Maybe it's not as good an achievement as I think it is.
It's such a poor end to the season as well. It's really disappointing. I'm actually going to throw Hagenars on as well. Oh, there we go. Drop down 15th. Attacking. Do it.
Just give the youth a chance. Yeah, I don't know. I've been really eager to play this save because I am enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. I sense a bit of a grind coming, which again I'm not against at all. I can't remember what FM it was, but one of them. Normally I'm pretty good in the lower leagues, and I'm out of them. Like in England, if I start in the Vanarama South, I'm out of them within 3 or 4 seasons. Like the complete non-league. Yeah, this has been terrible. We've gone down to 3-0 defeat, which ends the playoff chances. But hey ho. Yeah, I'm normally out of the non-leagues within about 3 or 4 seasons, and from there it's much plainer sailing. But one season I actually got stuck in the conference for about 7 seasons. Or 1 year I got stuck in the conference for about 7 seasons with Woking. And I don't want that on this one. Look at that. You pick up 1 win in this. And you just wonder what could have been. But next year, so next up is FC Eindhoven, who are looking to secure a playoff spot themselves. So, when we play them, I think I showed you them earlier in the season, didn't I? Eindhoven double. seem to recall. How did we do? Someone's already seen it. We drew to all. We need a win, otherwise it just looks terrible. I'll see you for that game unless anything ridiculously good or exciting happens. Hi guys, so welcome back. We are at the final game of the season at home against FC Eindhoven. I've only changed, so I brought Bolage, I'm going to call him Bolage because that's what I've been calling him, into an actual centre mid as a deep line playmaker on defend, which apparently he can't do, but he's fine doing it there, so a little confusing. In addition, Lackman comes in up front, the potential poacher kid, and Hulse changes to a shadow striker even though he can't shoot, and Kamachi becomes an advanced playmaker on support. That's kind of it really. I'm not going to bother retaining possession. Close down a bit more, we'll go on standard. Let's just see what happens. We're saying goodbye to a few players after this game. One that's on the bench is Eric Queckel, who's actually done fairly well for us this season. He's fine, but he's as good as... I don't care, go away. He's as good as that Van Pol, for example, and Bokila. And they're all sort of aging a bit, so I don't really want to keep them all around. Bokila is my favourite. He is back on the bench today. Yeah, he's back on the bench, back from injury. That's been his big problem, is he's been a bit susceptible to injuries, but he's been really consistent. He's on about a 7 average rating over the season. I think he's got like 16 goals or something. Ton Hulse is injured. It looks like concussion, so it could be worse. So, actually, we are going to see Hagenars come on, our target man. So, we've still only got the 2 youngsters on at once. So, you can go on attack, and you can do something a bit more useful. You can go on defensive forward. So, hopefully, it will still cover the sort of gap in the middle there. Yeah, Bokila's just been injured a bit too much, which is a shame. The team in general, if they were all about 20 years old, I would really fancy us next season, but a lot of them are getting on, and we've struggled for left backs all year because Van der Sloot hasn't performed. PK, I've pretty much written off this game, so I'm not surprised. The wingers hasn't really worked. Whatever I was saying, unless I go and score 4 goals now with wingers, then I take it all back. But results have shown that it hasn't particularly worked, and I've not had the right sort of backup, like I was just saying, with, oh, he's hit the post and backboard, can't follow up. Van der Sloot hasn't played well at left back. PK's done all right at right back, but I can't keep him. He's asking for so much money. We've got about 20k or less. Oh, please clear it. I think we've had, our wage budget is like 17,000 and he wants 1.5k. I know a lot of our players are amateur players, but I don't want that. I want them all to be sort of aspiring young prospects. Backboard heads it in from a Kamachi corner. So there you go. The big lads are still putting in a shift. Amazingly. All this time later, when I've pretty much given up on that tactic because all my tall players keep getting injured or are just terrible. Yeah, the defence has been a huge issue this season. The midfield's done okay. The attacks between them done pretty well. But I guess I've struggled down the flanks. I knew that the fullbacks were an issue at the start of the season when I tried to play with wingbacks. And the sort of spares I have here who are brought in as a bit of cover for fullback / wingback / winger just aren't that good overall. That could have been a much better ball by Grotenberg. And again, people like him, I think he's about 21, 22. He's apparently got another star of potential or so. And he looks like he could be quite good for a complete wingback, which would cover, like you wouldn't need wingers then. If we had some really good fullbacks, you could ignore wingers if they were that good for the division. But they're just not. And at that sort of age, you need to be doing more than just floating aimlessly into the box. Direct has let me down there. He's let me down time and time again this season, which is a shame because he, on paper, looks really good. Which means it's probably my fault. Let's be honest. Bolage, Kamachi down the right. We can find Grotenberg just about. He gets there, but he doesn't do anything with it. He just gets tackled and he's left this humongous gap down here. There's two of their players on the left, but they've wasted it. Backboard in the middle. Ate on the edge. Gives it to Lackman, who scores his first ever goal for FC Oss. Oh, I'm delighted for him. I'm happy. So we're 2-1 up. We go back up to 14th. Give me 13th, please. I'm so desperate. I've never been so desperate for a 13th place finish. Let's make some subs and try and keep hold of it. Lackman, congrats on your goal. This is probably something I do wrong. Someone will tell me off for this. But generally, if someone has scored, I then take them off. Quackel's not even on the bench, so I can't even say bye to him. Bokila comes on. I assume you're here till next year. Yeah, you are. So Bokila can be a target man. Just target man. Everyone can be a target man. Why not? And anyone else saying goodbye? Ostoprak's going back from his loan, but he's not really been great, so I'm not really bothered by him. Hussein Dogan can come in because Bolage is going back from his loan, so he's got a standing ovation coming off, no doubt, even though he's played about 20 games. I'm interested in him. He's young and he's got some good potential, but equally he doesn't want to sign. I'm having this issue with promises. I don't know if anyone else is having this, where they say, I want a big wage rise, and you say, okay, suggest promises, and they're like, you need to give me a big pay rise or the talks are over. And you say, yeah, I told you that, I'll suggest the promises again. Don't you dare. That's offside. He's got to be offside. No. No. Oh, I'm not even going to get 14th. Oh, yeah, the promises aren't working, basically. He is offside. He is an absolute mile offside. Oh, I've seen Dr. Benji do this before. How do I do it? Right. He's offside there. He's even more offside there. Just after the ball was gone, like a millisecond after. He was offside while this number 19 was on the ball. We've been robbed of our 14th place finish by inadequate refereeing. And I'm really upset by it. Where's the added time? It doesn't tell us how much there is. Have I broken it? It probably said, and I've probably just ruined it. There we go, 3 minutes apparently. Bokila's on the ball, Kamachi. Just either score or end the game. Grotenberg, come on, last kick of the season pretty much. That right there, that ball into the box is literally our season. I'm going to say you're unlucky. Because unfortunately, a lot of them are here next year in the first team. It's sort of the expanded team that aren't. Oh, look at all those teams. Canberra? How do they get into the playoffs? You sod off. I don't want to talk to you. So, end of the season. I can't wait to get into all these trials I'm going to be doing. We finished 15th. 11th place. Got playoffs. So we wouldn't have got the playoffs anyway, even if we won both our games, obviously. But it shows how close we could have been without this ridiculously bad end of the season. I mean, there have been some bad points. I seem to go on runs of something or another. It's either lots of losses or unbeaten. Albeit 3 draws and 2 wins isn't a great unbeaten streak. But same again here. Unbeaten for 5 games, unbeaten for 5 games. It's just not quite been good enough. I'm excited to get in, get some trials done, get on, release some players, have some wage budget. So, if you have enjoyed that and you're excited for the transfer window and next season, see if I figured out a tactic and what we can actually do with this team, then drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe for more Football Manager, Sonic, and soon some Pokemon maybe action. And I will see you next time.